Why is this happening to me, God? I'm still young, and why would I be experiencing this predicament at this young age? Amaka sat alone crying. Amaka's life was like the torn wrapper her mother wore, patched, faded, but still holding on. They lived in a forgotten corner of the village called Umweze, where mud houses leaned with age and dreams died young. Amaka was 17, a young girl with tired eyes, a gentle voice, and beauty that didn't shine because hardship had dimmed its light. She lived with her mother, Mama Chica, a food vendor who woke up before dawn to cook large pots of beans, yam porridge, and okra soup, just to sell by the roadside. Their house was a one-room mud hut with leaking zinc and cracked walls. No bed, no fan, just a raffia mat on the dusty floor and a small kerosene stove in the corner. There were nights they had only pap to drink. Other nights, nothing at all. But what hurt Amaka the most wasn't the hunger. It was the dream she had to bury. She had once been a brilliant student. She loved reading, loved school. She used to wear her green and white school uniform with pride, clutching her books close to her chest, running to class with excitement. She wanted to be a nurse. She wanted to help people, heal the sick, make her mother proud. But when school fees became too much and Mama Chica couldn't sell enough food to cover both rent and education, Amaka had to drop out. The day she stopped going to school, she didn't cry. But every day after that, she did silently, as she sat at their food stall near the market selling hot rice and beans while her mates walked past in their clean uniforms, laughing, swinging their school bags. She would smile at customers, but inside, her heart broke piece by piece. The girls who used to sit beside her now looked at her with pity or mockery. "She dey sell food now?" one of them whispered once. Ah, from class captain to food hawker. Life is hard. Amaka heard it. She heard all of it, but she never said a word. Then one day, everything changed. It was an afternoon like any other. The sun was harsh, the dust dry. Amaka was scooping jollof rice into a black nylon when a tall woman approached the stall. She wore a plain dress, flat sandals, and had a calm face. She looked like someone who had seen too much and felt too deeply. "Are you Amaka?" she asked. Amaka wiped her hand on a cloth. "Yes, ma. I'm Miss Nena. I used to teach integrated science in your school." Amaka looked up, surprised. "I remember you, ma." The woman stared at her with soft eyes. "Why did you stop coming to school?" Amaka lowered her head. "No money, ma. My mother tried, but..." Miss Nina nodded. She didn't speak much more. She just looked at the young girl for a long moment, then bought a plate of food, smiled, and walked away. That night, she didn't sleep. Miss Nina went from house to house, meeting the village elders, the school principal, and the few rich men in Umwez. She told them about Amaka, how she was one of the brightest students, how life had cheated her, how she deserved another chance. Most people shrugged. "She's just one poor girl," they said. But she didn't stop. And 1 week later, the village surprised Amaka. She had been summoned to the school. Her heart raced. Was she in trouble? When she arrived, the principal handed her a letter. Her hands trembled as she opened it. A scholarship, a full scholarship to complete her education. She couldn't believe it. Her mother wept when she heard the news. "God has remembered us," she shouted. Amaka returned to school with hope in her chest. Her old uniform had been washed and ironed. Her books were secondhand, but her joy was new. But Umweze was not a village that forgot things easily. Her return stirred murmurs. Some of her classmates looked at her with jealousy, others with disgust. "Why is she here? Because of pity, Abi? She's poor. She doesn't belong here." At first, it was just whispers. Then came the bullying. Boys pushed her in the hallway. Girls stole her books and drew nasty things inside. They called her names market girl, poverty, food seller. Some teachers acted like she didn't exist. Amaka endured it all in silence. She couldn't tell her mother. She didn't want to ruin the joy of finally being back in school. So she cried at night when no one could hear, and every day she walked the same lonely bush path to and from school. It was quiet, too quiet, and on that road, there was always one figure standing like a forgotten tree. The madman. His name was Obim. No one remembered how he became mad. Some said he lost his wife, others said he was cursed. He wore layers of rags, his hair wild like dried weeds. He laughed to himself, shouted at the air, sometimes danced in the middle of the road. The villagers avoided him, children threw stones at him, but he never hurt anyone. Amaka feared him until one day. It was a Friday. She had been bullied badly. 3 boys poured powder on her head, kicked her school bag into a gutter, and laughed as she picked her books. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she walked home. Dust covered her shoes. Her hands trembled. Then she heard him. "You dey cry?" She turned. It was Obim, sitting under the tree as usual. She wiped her eyes. "Leave me alone," she muttered, but he didn't. "Who hurt you?" he asked again, his voice strange, calm, almost gentle. For reasons she couldn't explain, Amaka stopped. Something about his voice, or maybe his eyes, made her pause. She sat on a stone nearby, and she told him everything. The next Monday, chaos visited the school. Obim had entered the school compound like thunder, stick in hand, shouting, "Where are they? Where are the boys?" Students screamed. Teachers fled. The boys he had marked ran in fear. He didn't hit anyone, but the madness in his voice was enough. From that day, nobody touched Amaka again. The school avoided her. The bullies kept their distance. She was now the girl the madman protects. Strangely, she started greeting him each morning. Sometimes, she brought him bread or leftover rice. He'd grin like a child, tap his chest, and call her my friend. It was odd, but it was real. Until the afternoon, it all fell apart. The sun was high. School closed early. Amaka walked alone. The road was silent, the trees swaying. She heard him call. "Amaka." She turned. Obim stood by the tree, smiling wide. "Come," he said. "I found something. I want to show you." She hesitated, but she trusted him. He had defended her, protected her, never hurt her. She followed. They walked deeper into the bush. She looked around. "Where are we going?" He didn't answer. Then suddenly he stopped. He turned. His eyes were no longer kind. His face darkened, his smile twisted. "Obim," she whispered, stepping back, but it was too late. He grabbed her arm. "Stop! What are you doing?" she screamed. Birds flew from the trees. The forest echoed her cries. He pulled her down, whispered nonsense, held her wrist like steel. She kicked, fought, bit him, scratched his face, and with one final push, she broke free. She ran. Branches tore her skin. Thorns scraped her legs. But she didn't stop. She burst through her front door screaming, "Mama!" Her mother dropped her pot. "Amaka!" She was bleeding, shaking, bruised. Her mother held her, cried with her, cleaned her wounds, but nothing could clean her heart. That night, Amaka lay still. The pain was inside now, deep, quiet, permanent. But the worst had not yet come. The village would soon know, and their silence would turn into shame. The days after the incident were a blur of silence, tears, and whispers. Amaka no longer spoke unless spoken to. She spent her days curled on the raffia mat in their one-room house, staring at the cracked walls or holding her knees close to her chest. The fire in her eyes had gone out. She no longer smiled, no longer sang the folk songs she used to hum while sweeping. Her laughter, the kind that once brightened her mother's darkest days, had vanished. Mama Chica tried everything. She cooked her favorite yam porridge. She brought in the neighbor's daughter to sit with her. She even begged the pastor to come and pray, but none of it worked. Amaka's soul was stuck in that bush, in that moment, in that scream that no one came to hear. and the worst was yet to come. One morning, while trying to sweep the compound, Amaka dropped the broom and rushed behind the house. She vomited violently, again and again, until there was nothing left inside her. Mama Chica rushed to her side. "Amaka, my daughter, what is it?" Amaka was pale and weak. At first, Mama thought it was malaria, or maybe the trauma catching up to her body. But then, a week passed. Then, two, her daughter's body began to change. Her face swelled ever so slightly. Her chest felt tender. Her skin looked fuller. Mama Chica's heart dropped. She didn't want to believe it. But when Amaka missed her second period, the truth hit like a thunderclap in her chest. She was pregnant. She didn't even need a midwife to confirm it. A mother always knows. Amaka sat still on the floor when her mother told her. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just whispered, "Mama, what will I do?" And Mama had no answer. That night, she held her daughter the way she had held her as a baby. Close, tight, as though love alone could protect her from the world. But the world was already watching. The whisperers started the next day. "She's pregnant, oh. That girl Way madman rape. Chai, two disgrace in one house. I hear say she no even fight. Maybe she enjoy, a beg. Make she no come near my peekin'." The words floated like smoke through the air. They snuck in through cracks in the walls and pierced Amaka's ears. Even when she closed the windows, the gossip found her. Amaka began refusing food. She would lie on her side all day, her hand over her growing stomach, as though she could will the child not to grow, as though she could erase it all by sheer desire. One afternoon, she stood in front of a mirror for the first time since that day. She stared at herself, her eyes sunken, her skin pale, and her belly undeniable. She began to cry loud, shaking sobs that echoed through the tiny room. Her mother ran to her and held her, but the girl couldn't be consoled. "I didn't ask for this," she screamed. "I didn't ask for any of it, Mama. Why me?" Her mother wept with her, feeling helpless, torn between a daughter's pain and a world that refused to forgive. As her pregnancy progressed, the stares became harsher, the insults louder. Even old friends crossed to the other side of the road when they saw her coming. Her mother continued to sell food at the market, but customers now avoided her stall. Some whispered that the food might carry the spirit of madness. Others boldly accused her. "You're the one who raised her. Maybe you taught her how to seduce men." One day, while scooping beans for a customer, Mama Chica broke down and cried into the pot. Amaka never returned to the market, never went near the school again. The world outside became a battlefield she wasn't strong enough to face. And then, as the 9th month approached, the pain returned, not the emotional one, but the physical. It started one night when the wind blew harder than usual and the oil lamp flickered. Amaka woke up screaming, "Mama, it's happening!" Labor. Mama Chica ran into the darkness. Barefoot, desperate, she knocked on her neighbor's door. "Please help me! My daughter is in labor." The door didn't open. She ran to the pastor's house. "Pastor, I'm begging you." He peeked through the curtain and shook his head. She went from house to house, hands shaking, wrapper soaked in tears. But the village had already made its decision. Let her suffer. Let them suffer. So Mama Chica returned home alone, her daughter on the mat, screaming, blood staining the floor. With trembling hands and an untrained mind, Mama delivered the baby herself. A girl. Amaka looked at the child, fresh from pain and silence. She didn't say a word, didn't smile, didn't hold her. She just lay back and wept. They named her Ada. Though there was no ceremony, no visitors, no joy, just 3 hearts beating in a dark room. But fate wasn't done. 9 months later, another pregnancy. This time there were no tears, no complaints. Amaka had stopped feeling altogether. The child came quickly again in the house, again with only her mother to help. Another girl. They named her Eneka. Mother is supreme. But even her birth did not soften the village. Instead, it made things worse. Two madman children? That girl is cursed. They should be driven out before the madness spreads. One evening, while pounding yam, Mama Chica was summoned by the village elders. She went with her daughter and the two babies strapped to her back. The chief looked them over like rotting food. "We have tolerated enough," he said. "Two children, no father, shame after shame. You have brought a curse to this land," one elder added. "We cannot allow it to continue. You must leave. Tonight." Amaka didn't flinch. Her mother didn't argue. There was no point. The villagers weren't seeking the truth. They were looking for a scapegoat, and they had found her. That night, with only a sack of torn clothes and two hungry babies, Amaka and Mama Chica walked into the dark, banished, broken, unwanted. The road ahead was empty, but so was the village they left behind. They didn't know where they were going. They didn't have food. They didn't have hope, but they had each other. And deep in Amaka's eyes, past the pain and beyond the shame, a spark remained. The shame had spoken louder than her for too long, but someday soon, she would speak louder.